The original Bama Football Tailgate Show is on the air. Alabama football is rolling, and we got you covered with a breakdown of the game matchup, an SEC preview, and all the fun of an afternoon on the quad with former Crimson Tide Sports Network broadcaster and SEC Network play-by-play voice, Mick Gillispie. The Bama Football Tailgate Show is presented by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. The only beer you need at a Bama tailgate party. Pearl River Resort Casino and Hotel in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's play. Now featuring the Sportsbook at the Timeout Lounge. Also brought to you by the Flora-Bama, world-famous beach bar and lounge in Orange Beach, Alabama. Genesis of Tuscaloosa, luxury with a national championship service department. Sevierville, your Smokies start here. Visit Sevierville.com. Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Hyundai, the longer you look, the more there is to like. R&R Cigars, home of the Cigar Mansion and Victory Cigar, 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa. Unique Bar on the Strip, home of the NFL, MLB, Premier League package. Catch all the games at Unique. Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports. Not too small, not too big. Tuscaloosa is pronounced just right. Visit Tuscaloosa.com. Pond Royale, located at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. And NewLifeArt.com, publisher of Fine Art Editions by Daniel A. Moore. Use the code Bama Tailgate for a discount at NewLifeArt.com. Now your host of the Tailgate Show, Mick Gillispie.
Roll Tide, everybody, and welcome to the show this week. This is the Bama Football Tailgate Show, and for the next 2 hours, we're going to talk Alabama and Texas A&M. Kyle Field, 2:30, a huge matchup for both of these teams, and it could eventually prove to be the game that led one of these teams to Atlanta and a winner in the SEC West. We got a great show for you today as we hang out at the Flora-Bama here in Perdido Key, Orange Beach. This is where we are for every single Alabama home game. So they're in Texas and we're here on the line, right? On the show today, we've got Jake Coker. He's from Mobile. He's part of the Elephant in the Room podcast, part of Roll Tide Pods. He's going to be here after this segment's over. Thom Abraham comes on each and every week, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. He's going to talk about this Alabama and Texas A&M matchup. We're going to hear from Chris Lowe from ESPN, the senior blogger at ESPN. No one knows Nick Saban better than Chris Lowe. Yeah, he's going to talk about that as well. There's been a lot of talk in Vegas, and it's really been crazy. Is Jalen Milroe playing or not? The line went from 7 to 4.5, and then this week it went from 4.5 to 1. Well, Vegas didn't think he was going to play. Kenny White talked to me earlier this week asking if I knew anything. Well, now all of a sudden, apparently the line has swung back a little bit more towards Alabama, and he is going to play. But there was one of those reports that came out in the gambling world that he was not going to play, and that was why I think the line swung. We'll hear from Kenny and Reagan from R&R Cigars, and we're going to talk to our friend Lance Taylor. Next round, Disrupt the Media, a longtime regular down here at the Flora-Bama, a guy that has gotten up on stage with Big Earl a few times and tried to sing some songs. We'll ask him what that was like. Let me remind you guys that the Bama Football Tailgate Show is brought to you by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling is a sixth-generation company, and Cheryl Yuengling, who's part of the company's ownership, is a proud Alabama grad, and she puts a little bit of crimson love in each one of those green bottles. And I know some of you have been trying to find that alternative to Mick Ultra. Well, I'll tell you what, try Yuengling Flight. It's crisp, it's low carb, it's light, it's fantastic, and it's available in Alabama, Florida, and in the entire South, even in Texas. Alabama's 4-1. They're number 11. Texas A&M is 4-1. They're not ranked, but there's this talk from A&M that they're not getting a lot of respect. So we're going to get into that, talk about the respect. Should A&M be ranked? And does that have anything to do with Alabama? Why has this game become such a rivalry? Well, Jimbo Fisher made the comments about Nick Saban a couple of years ago. Those two worked together and won a national championship at LSU. So I'm going to ask Jake Coker that. He played and won a championship with Jimbo at Florida State. He played and won a championship at Alabama for Nick Saban. And he's my partner on Roll Tide Pod's Elephant in the Room. So when we come back, we're going to get into that. But let me tell you about the scene down here at the Flora-Bama. We have the breeze blowing in right now. They gave me a brand new shirt that I'm wearing. I'm looking at Lance across the way there, and as he's checking everybody in. Let me throw Lance up. You've got to be able to you feel the salt in the air. Yeah, and my friend from LSU. Oh, rough one last time. I got you guys this week, though. We're going to talk about that in the gambling segment. No way that LSU is going to lose to Missouri. It's just not going to happen. All of you guys that are listening on radio across the state of Alabama, Roll Tide, everybody, thank you for being here. And if you're on YouTube and you're watching on the Bama Tailgate channel, just be glad that you didn't lose last week to Ole Miss because you actually beat them 2 weeks ago. Roll Tide. When we come back, we're going to talk to Jake Coker, and he's going to tell us everything there is to know. I'm just kidding. Go Tigers, right? Everything there is to know about Jimbo Fisher. Oh, my gosh. This is oh. I love your enthusiasm. Jake Coker, when we come back, the original Bama Tailgate Show from the Flora-Bama rolls on right after this.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Flora-Bama, and it's time for Flora-Bama Fun Facts. The Flora-Bama first opened in 1964, and we're celebrating our 59th year of doing it on the line. We host over 150 events every year, including Mullet Toss, Oktoberfest, Halloween Costume Party, Frank Brown Songwriters, Thanksgiving and Christmas Potluck, the biggest New Year's Eve party, and of course, the Polar Bear Plunge on January 1st. All the events, including our live music schedule, are available online at florabama.com.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Yuengling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack. by whatever means necessary. With Yingling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yingling, bring the goods.
R&R Cigars invites you to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa. The best cigar selection and bourbon in the Southeast awaits you. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, near Home 2 Suites, or Northport, next to Winn-Dixie. TheCigarMansion.com.
See yourself in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Welcome back to the original Bama Tailgate Show, and our show is always brought to you by Yingling Lager. Yingling, America's oldest brewery, a proud American brewery, and Cheryl Yingling, part of the ownership group, 6 generations of Yingling in the making, so that's great-grandfather's grandfather all the way back, right? She went to Alabama. She went to school with us. She puts a little bit of crimson love in each one of those green bottles. And if you're looking for an alternative right now to Mick Ultra, try Yingling Flight, because I know a lot of you guys are asking about that, and that's what you need to try. All right, today, Alabama takes on Texas A&M. It's a 2:30 game, and it is great to be joined by my partner on Roll Tide Pods, Elephant in the Room, for you guys to check out, Jake Coker, guy that played there. What's up, man? Roll Tide.
Man, excited about the game today. The line scares me a little bit, as I think it does everybody else. Playing an experienced guy in Max. Guy seems to adjust well to every look he sees on defense. Alabama's got their hands full. A&M's defense shows a lot of looks and really gets after the quarterback. So kind of a perfect storm for Alabama, I think. But, again, we got the athletes too, and I think we pull it out in a close one.
Talk about playing for both of these coaches. You're the one that has the perspective here. You played at Florida State for Jimbo Fisher, and won a championship. And then you played for Alabama, Nick Saban, and won a championship. Which ring do you like the best?
I more so claim the Alabama one because I had more to do with it. But, it's kind of they're kind of the same guy to a certain extent. Jimbo being a little bit more high-strung and probably takes a lot less to get him fired up. But, he's on offense what Coach Saban is on defense. 2 guys that have a really, really high level of work ethic. And, you see that in recruiting. You see that in coaching. Guys that are at the top of their games. I think Jimbo's had a few rough years at A&M, but I think especially with Bobby Petrino helping out over there, we're going to see a whole new Texas A&M here moving forward. And they got a lot of experience at the quarterback position. Not so much a starter that's hurt, but to have Max Johnson sitting there waiting on them could possibly be even an upgrade for A&M this year.
Well, that's a lot to say, but the former LSU quarterback played against Alabama when he was at LSU. He's going to get the start today against the Crimson Tide. Nick Saban's defense is getting better and better. We saw them dominate. I thought they dominated against Mississippi State. Mississippi State got a few runs, but you could tell that they were kind of set up to stop the pass. They didn't feel like they were going to lose that way. What were your thoughts on that defense that you saw last week from Alabama?
Man, I thought it was, hey, we're going to dare you to throw the ball, which is, saying a lot when you're playing against Will Rogers, a guy who started, 4 years at Mississippi State. I think, confidence at the quarterback position is probably one of the most key attributes to a successful quarterback in the SEC. Guy who's seen a lot of different looks, a lot of talent. Got 3 picks off the guy and really put pressure on him. So, and like you said, dominated all day on Saturday. So, I hope we can do the same with Max. I think Max, he's got a lot better players around him than Will Rogers had. So I see them scoring more points. We just got to keep up on offense.
You played for Nick Saban. You won a championship with Nick Saban. Jimbo Fisher had some comments about him a couple of years ago. Do you think Nick Saban let it go, or do you think somewhere in the back of his head he still remembers when he was, he said, I think he used the word despicable a few times. This guy's not God, stuff like that. Can you forget that? They're both from West Virginia, right? Is that just a normal West Virginia fight?
They've known each other a long time, and I know, Jimbo understands Coach Saban. Coach Saban understands Jimbo. I think Jimbo probably kind of has a chip on his shoulder and thinks about that from time to time. I think Coach Saban's just on to the next realm of responsibility, and I think they're past that. But if Jimbo gets his shot to score a few more touchdowns, I think he's going to take full advantage.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I think Nick Saban deals with that every week, though, right? I mean, it seems like he's always playing against a former assistant, and he's been the best. Alabama's been the best for a long time, and I almost feel like with this team that it's really starting to mold into what we saw in 2009, where the offense doesn't really have to do as much. I don't think he wants them to mess it up for the defense, because the defense has the ability to score. We saw that. Chris Braswell's interception last week. Alabama had 3 interceptions. They're constantly pressuring the quarterback now. Mm-hmm. And it just feels like if he could just get them to run the ball, get positive plays, and rely on the defense, he's comfortable with that. I think this is Nick Saban football.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think this A&M team, talent-wise, is going to be the best team we face. Unless we play Georgia in the national championship, probably the most talented team that we face all year. There's going to be a few games where we're going to have to score touchdowns to stay in the game. This one, I feel like is going to be one of those matchups.
Yeah, and I could see that as well with, an offense that has some playmakers out there. Anais Smith, his brother played at Alabama and wanted to transfer. Did you play with his brother, by the way? What was it, Marcès?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Mo Smith, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mo's a great guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand all those comments. That's one of those scenarios where, back then there were transfer rules, and actually when I left Florida State, Jimbo could have blocked me anywhere within conference. Of course, I went to Alabama, SEC,
right.
So none of that came into play. But, that was one rule I didn't particularly like. I know Mo came in and did everything that he was asked to do at Alabama, so I was glad to see him fulfill his dream, much like I was able to do playing at Alabama. He was from Georgia, got to go back home and play for his home state, so glad it all worked out. But, as far as the Anais Smith comments, I mean, come on, man.
Right. I love, I'll tell you, honestly, I love it. I love the Lane Kiffin stuff. I love because I've got to sit here and talk about this all week. Give me something to talk about.
It's what makes college football college football.
Yeah. Who was the best smack talker that you ever ran into in college, whether it be on your team or on another team?
I never really had too many guys talk too much trash. It was weird when we played A&M. The fans were the nicest fans you could have ever come across. And then they were probably a little bit more mouthy than anybody we had played. When I played against Auburn in the Iron Bowl,
a different animal.
Yeah, I mean, now there was some pretty good trash talk.
Mm-hmm. I've been there. Yeah, that's a whole different animal. You talk about that.
I don't know what kind of radio show this is, but I don't know if I can repeat all that.
no, this is we got to follow all the rules, right? The FCC rules. So we can't even talk about it.
Oh yeah, I had a high school teammate at Auburn who played linebacker. He played linebacker. Trey Williams was his name.
Yeah,
and I'll never forget the drive before we scored. After a touchdown pass to Darius Stewart, and we call a timeout, and I go to the sideline, and I'm walking back to the huddle. I look over, and we make eye contact, And I kind of give him a head nod. Hey, what's up? And he looks at me like he'd rather just see me get run over by. And I was like, all right, I'll remember that. Then we scored that next drive, and man, from then on out, every time I see him, I remind him about it.
Yeah, you weren't in high school anymore, right? That's so funny.
But I was like, okay, I see where this is going.
Yeah. How do you feel today's game? How do you think it's going to turn out?
I got to go, obviously, with my Crimson Tide. But, again, I feel like this is going to be one of the toughest tests, if not the toughest test we have all season. You play in Jordan-Hare. Obviously, there's that kind of mystical, they have all kinds of luck in there. And so that place is a little bit different. Mm-hmm. But as far as X's and O's, I see this, to me, is going to be the toughest game of the year, especially with Max Johnson in there. The previous quarterback who got injured, I thought he was a really talented guy, probably more so talented than Max. But Max is just a tough guy. He makes all the throws, and that's no slight at him. He can make all the throws and do whatever he needs to do. But he looks so comfortable back there. Yeah. And Arkansas did a lot last week, and he never seemed flustered. That team seems to play behind him. This is the most put together A&M team I feel like I've seen since Jimbo's been there. Wow.
Well, Alabama's got their work cut out for them. 2:30, Kyle Field in College Station. All right, last thing, the show, when Alabama's on the road, we do it from the Flora-Bama. I got to tell you, just like a great player gets injured from time to time, 2015, I guess it would have had to have been maybe 2017. What was the year that Jalen Hurts was a freshman?
That was
2016, 2017. Yeah. Well, it was 2017.
Well, 16, 17.
Yeah. At the Flora-Bama. I didn't know about it. It's really terrible, but I didn't know what a floater was and my bushwhacker. And so I didn't make it through the post-game show. Okay. So, it's just like a great athlete getting hurt.
Do your homework, man.
Yeah.
Watch some film.
I didn't make it. I didn't make it out of the post-game show. The same guy that I saw get heckled horribly, Ben George, at the game where Brody got sacked 12 times down at Auburn, was my partner at the time. And you talk about looks. He gave me what I refer to as a Hawaiian stink eye. When I used to live in Hawaii and people didn't like you, they'd give you the stink eye. This was on my way to not really remembering too much of the post-game show. Have you ever had an experience like that at the Flora-Bama?
At the Flora-Bama. I remember getting home every time I've been to Flora-Bama.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Okay. Well, don't ask my wife about it on the way. She reminds me about that a lot. But you know what? You become a legend of the greatest beach bar in the entire world when you go through something like that. Because then everybody else I talked to is like, oh, there was this one time where they threw me out or this happened or that. I think it's a great party.
Legend's a strong description.
We're talking Alabama and Texas A&M. Jake Coker, thank you so much, man. Roll Tide.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me.
That's Jake Coker. We're going to get back and talk some more about this game. The original Bama Tailgate Show rolls on right after this.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Barry Buckner. It all adds up. Every time a Tuscaloosa Hyundai customer refers a friend or family member to come see us, we are truly grateful. I compare it to doubling a penny for 30 days. Believe it or not, by day 30, that one penny is over $5 million. Now that's adding up. I remind every Tuscaloosa Hyundai team member, it's only a satisfied customer who will give you a referral. That ultimate compliment earned by effort and excellence. And Tuscaloosa Hyundai has all the tools. A new vehicle lineup to meet any driving need. Premium pre-owned under 100,000 miles that we stand behind with our exclusive 1,000,000-mile warranty. Award-winning service, a company that values being named best of the best by our community. But above all, we are sincere in earning the trust that leads to a customer referral, and trust is priceless. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, located at 2703 6th Street across from the Home 2 Suites. Come down to R&R and see why we're the ultimate cigar and bourbon experience. With over 165 bourbons and 5 private barrels, our selection of bourbon is unmatched. We have the best cocktails around, and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world-class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Check out Pawn Royale at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. The summer season is almost over. Time to go to Pawn Royale and find some amazing deals. Right now, our lawn and gardening inventory must go. That includes mowers, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, you name it. Pawn Royale has deals on everything. Many items at cost or less. If you're in the market, come make a deal. That's Pawn Royale, 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Unique on the Strip. It's the best place to watch sports.
You're not even kidding. 11 TVs, NFL and MLB package, NHL, EPL, and so much more. If you want a game, they have it.
Now they're doing weekly NFL Pick'em, winners every Sunday, and grand prizes on Super Bowl Sunday.
And we haven't even mentioned the drink specials.
Of course they have daily drink specials. You can see them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Unique T-Town every day.
Unique on the Strip. The best place to watch sports in Tuscaloosa.
This is my great escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Talking Alabama football on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel and across the state of Alabama. It's the Bama Tailgate Show, Alabama, Texas A&M. This is a really big football game in College Station, 2:30. We're previewing it, and our good buddy Thom Abraham from 97.7 ESPN The Zone in North Alabama and Huntsville joins us each week. And Tom, this is a showdown. Vegas seems to think that Alabama's in trouble because that line went from over 7 and it just keeps shrinking. And I wonder if some books even have at even money or Alabama down.
No, not quite yet. I mean, as of this morning, game day, it's about 1.5 to Alabama. It was 3.5 on the open, but you're right. A couple of weeks ago, it was 7.5, and it just kept coming down. And there's good reason for it, in as much as that this Texas A&M team is playing some really great defense right now. They're 20th in the country against the pass, and Alabama already doesn't pass the ball very well. Their passing game is anemic at best. So, you know, it's a weakness against a strength when you look at it that way. And as good as Alabama's defense has been, Texas A&M's is even better according to the numbers in terms of yards allowed. Now, they allow a little bit more points. Last I saw, points are what determines a game, not yards. But the Texas A&M defense is good. Max Johnson has come in and has been a starter. You can ask the question, would Max Johnson be the starter at Alabama if he was there? He was the backup to start the season, of course, to Connor Wegman, who got hurt. I think Max Johnson's every bit as good as Connor Wegman was for them. So this is huge. This is the game that SEC Media Days back in July in Nashville. This was the one I circled that would be a problem. I did not see what was going to happen against Texas. I thought that they would, beat the tar out of Texas. in Tuscaloosa. But this was the one I thought would be problematic, going to Texas A&M. So here we are now. We see an LSU team that looks vulnerable. We see a Tennessee team that doesn't look as good as they were. Even a Georgia team that seems a little bit vulnerable and struggles to win some football games, still winning games. But this Texas A&M team, this is the one that if they can come out of there with a win, who knows? People might start looking at Alabama a little differently heading down the stretch.
This segment in our show brought to you by Visit Sevierville. Visit Sevierville.com. Now's a great time to check out 4 of their different self-guided fall driving tours, which highlight historical points of interest and beautiful views. That's Visit Sevierville.com. And check it out up there in Tennessee. Beautiful time of the year as we talk Alabama and Texas A&M with Thom Abraham. Tom, a couple years ago, this was the off-season rivalry of the year. It was the feud of the year, as they would call it in wrestling, right? You had Nick Saban saying, hey, Texas A&M is using NIL to get players, which they adamantly denied, and then Jimbo Fisher attacked Alabama. Hey, come to find out, Texas A&M used NIL to get players, but so everyone is now, right? Mm-hmm. But still, some things were said, right, that I still can't believe Jimbo Fisher went at Nick Saban like he did back then.
I still use the quote that from Nick Saban that started that whole thing, where he said Texas A&M bought every player they got. When they had that great recruiting class. Now, a lot of that class hasn't panned out. I think 8 or 10 of those guys are gone, to be honest. But yeah, the Jimbo Fisher response was stunning and startling. It came swiftly, and I think the word despicable was used several times. And so at some point in time, Jimbo came off of that, and it became, look, this was just a couple of boys from West Virginia who are like brothers, fighting with each other verbally. But the point was made. It was made by Nick Saban. The response was so strong that it made everybody believe that what Nick Saban said was exactly true. And, and then Jimbo had a terrible year. So, and now he's fighting for his gig, and they're having a good bounce back year. So still tons of intrigue on it. Just 2 4-1 teams. The West being up in the air right now, the SEC West. I mean, there's just so much on the line for this game here.
Yeah, I feel the same way, too. Bobby Petrino is a difference maker as offensive coordinator. He was a great coach at Arkansas, and then, they had the off-the-field stuff, and now he's trying to, rebound in his career. But he did it. He's a good offensive coordinator. I think it makes a difference in this game. Tommy Rees, a little inexperienced. Maybe Jalen Milroe could be banged up. Who knows? I mean, they're not going to tell us that. But I thought Alabama against Ole Miss second half, and then the entire game against Mississippi State kind of found this identity. We're going to run the football. We're not going to throw it a lot. We might take a chance here and there, but we're going to let our defense take care of business. And those guys have done that.
Yes, they have done that. And but again, this is a different defense than they faced each of the last 2 weeks for sure. And look what we learned about the Ole Miss defense. And then it makes you wonder, why didn't Alabama score 40 or 50 points against Ole Miss like LSU did in a loss? But having said that, the other thing that this defense does very well for the Aggies is sack the quarterback. They're second in the country in sacks. And in the case of Jalen Milroe, he took 4 more sacks against Mississippi State. 3 of those, though, were his fault because he's holding the ball too long still. And then he gets out of the pocket, and it's like I'm sure he knows that he can just dump the ball off to the line of scrimmage and save the 5 or 6 or 7 yards that he's going to take on the sack. So that's a part of his game that's been maddening. He still comes up with a big play every, 1 or 2 big plays with his legs every game, and then he makes a couple of decent-looking throws. He was, 10 of 12? So when he does throw the ball, it's pretty accurate, but, it's going to be a big, big test here against this A&M defense.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hanging with Thom Abraham. He's host of the Thom Abraham Show every day on 97.7 ESPN The Zone in North Alabama. He's also on our Florence affiliate too, Fox, right? So you're all over the place, and we appreciate having you to talk Alabama football here on the Bama Tailgate Show. And a lot of you guys have commented on our talk last week, and we want you to do that again if you're watching on YouTube. So your thoughts on this? To me, you talked about the fact that LSU got all those points and yards against Ole Miss. I looked at it, and I'm like, hey, Alabama stopped that Ole Miss offense that had 700+ plus yards. So maybe that tells you how good the Bama defense is.
Yeah, it does speak to the Alabama defense. By the way, LSU also hung a 50-burger on Mississippi State, too. So it kind of tells you about Alabama's offense. Again, what have I been saying all season long? Survive and advance. That's the way this team is. This is survive and advance. You don't have to, you don't have to go out there and beat everybody by 30 or 40 points. If they go in there and they can get a win and win a game by 7, 10, 12 points, everybody should be happy. And then they move on to Arkansas. That's the way it'll be. But yeah, the defense has been special. And so this one's got slobber knocker written all over it, to be honest with you. I mean, this could be a 17-12 game or something like that. This could be a very physical, old school football game, I believe.
Yeah, I'm seeing it that way too. And, does that benefit Alabama or does that benefit Texas A&M? Max Johnson turned the ball over 3 times, an interception, 2 fumbles,
right,
but it got the win in relief against Arkansas. If Alabama doesn't turn it over, and I think that's something that they have actually tried to work on here and rely on their defense, they feel like they can win. And you just feel like in a game like this, it comes down to turnovers.
Yeah, it's a big advantage for Alabama in turnovers as well, because Alabama in the turnover margin, they're on the plus side of things. They're about 18th in the country. And according to the numbers, A&M is minus turnovers. They're 110th out of 133 schools in the FBS in the country. So, again, that's an advantage for Alabama. And, Marv Levy once told me back in the day when I was a football coach that if you're +2, you win 88% of the time. So that's kind of the target, is to be +2. And if Alabama can get to +2, in this football game, they're going to win that game.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, and that doesn't matter what level, NFL, college, Pee Wee football. Normally, if you get the turnovers, then you're going to have more possessions and you're going to win the football game. What does this game mean to Nick Saban's legacy? I know everyone wants to retire Nick Saban. They always want to make this out to be the game. Ole Miss was that game. Now all of a sudden it's, if you lose to Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M 2 out of 3 years? What is the significance to Nick Saban and where he is right now moving forward, taking on Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher?
0. I mean, what was the influence on Bear Bryant's legacy that he finished in the Liberty Bowl? You know what I mean?
Right.
3-loss team. Nobody will ever remember any of that. That legacy is sealed. It's set. Nobody is going to go out there and win 7 national championships in this day and age, not with 12 teams going to the playoff and so on. I think from a legacy issue, it is set. And it's not like, let's say they were to lose this football game. Worst case scenario, what would they do? Be a 9-3, 10-2 type team, maybe 10 wins, would have a similar season to last year. So no, this isn't Nick Saban going out with a 5-7 type year or those types of things. And by the way, I do think, I am starting to believe, doing the Pat McAfee show every week now, what's that all about, and the way he has been with the media and his distaste for the transfer portal, and I believe NIL ultimately, and maybe even conference realignment and everything. I think he really enjoyed that trip he took to Italy over the summer. I do believe that it's getting close. I mean, we've been saying, 3 or 4 more years for like 7 years now.
Yeah.
So the 3 or 4 more years may be it. So I think you kind of got to savor it and see how this is, each week unfolds. I think with a championship, for sure he would exit. I think no doubt about it. But even without, I think we're getting very, very close to seeing Nick Saban on the ESPN game day desk in place of Lee Corso at some point here.
Angry Saban. Yeah, he'd be interesting to watch on television, Tom. Tell everyone how they could catch you. I kind of mentioned it before, but his show's definitely worth watching, guys.
Yeah, 97.7 ESPN The Zone every day. WZZN TV on YouTube from noon to 2 every day. You can watch the show there as well. Follow me at Thom Abraham Show on the X, formerly Twitter. You got to say that, I think, still. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to follow. And of course, my sideline gig, Bassmaster Radio, coast to coast, over 130 radio stations across the country, and at Bassmaster.com as well. If you're any kind of a fishing fan or an outdoors fan, you're going to want to tune that show in as well.
Alabama against Texas A&M coming up. This is the original Bama Tailgate Show. We're presented by Tuscaloosa Hyundai, the Elantra, the Sinatra, and SUV like the Tucson. Tailgating doesn't get any better. We're going to talk more Bama football right after this.
Yingling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yingling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yingling, bring the goods.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Flora-Bama, and we're excited that football is back. The Flora-Bama is proud to support Alabama football, and we invite you to join us at Flora-Bama Over Grill for a game day experience like no other. We have over 40 TVs and a brand new game day menu that includes endless wings, Santa Fe egg rolls, street corn nachos, and so much more. Bring your friends and join us for all the college and NFL games. Flora-Bama's Old River Grill, open at 11 a.m. daily, right across the street from the world-famous Flora-Bama.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. PG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Tuscaloosa is Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Back on the original Bama Tailgate Show, I'm Mick Gillispie. The show's brought to you by Yingling Lager, America's oldest brewery. And our look around the SEC is driven by Tuscaloosa Hyundai, our buddy Barry Buckner, and that excellent service department right there on Skyland Boulevard. You can't beat it. They're great cars that some of them are actually built in the state of Alabama. And Barry and his crew are going to get you a great price. And no side stickers either. You go in there, you look, whatever they have on the car is how much you pay. And I'll tell you, I like that as well. It's always great to talk to our friend Chris Lowe from ESPN. Chris, how you been? And let's talk Alabama football. They got a huge game Jimbo Fisher against Nick Saban, sat 2:30 at in College Station. But what a big game for both of these guys.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a lot of big games, Mick, in the West from here on out. There's going to be, because I don't know that there's a great team in the West. I think there's a lot of teams in that division that are pretty close. But no, Nick and Jimbo have a long and at times complex history, and they know each other very well. They worked with each other. They've coached against each other now in several different years. And of course, there's been that the little bit, what would you call it, a brouhaha a few years ago, 2 years ago over NIL. So I don't know.
Cool? Are they cool, Chris? Sorry to interrupt you. Are they cool? Like they act like it's okay, or you think that there's still some residual effects here?
I think they just moved on. The misconception there of guys like Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher is that they talk all the time. I don't think they ever talked a lot. I mean, they may a couple times a year if there was a reason to call, but I don't think they were pen pals or phone pals. I don't think Nick's like that with anybody. Whether it's Kirby, and I think the same way with Kirby. There's some guys that are closer than others. For instance, I think guys like Hugh Freeze and Gus Malzahn do talk. I mean, they're just different types of relationships. I don't think the Jimbo-Nick relationship was ever such that they picked up the phone and called each other every couple of weeks and talked about ball or talked about what was going on around college football. So I think to answer your question, I just think they moved on. Both of them are pretty single-minded, focused guys, very competitive, pretty volatile guys that are zeroed in on what they're doing. And both of them know that they work at really high-pressure places, that their focus better be on their football team and winning and not any kind of so-called feud.
Yeah, and well, they used to work together. Jake Coker and I do Roll Tide Pods, Elephant in the Room, twice a week. That, by the way, my home studio is the elephant in the room, I guess. But he's talked about playing for both guys. He was at Florida State with Jimbo, and he played at Alabama, won a championship. And he said that they've always kind of had that type of relationship where, Jimbo would go at Nick Saban, and then they would talk about it. So I hope that for both of their sakes that they were able to move on. But a lot of stuff was said, and part of it is just the changing landscape of college football and the NIL and the transfer portal. But what I want to talk about is Nick Saban. You're a guy who gets around Nick Saban. He trusts you. Do you think that Nick Saban is comfortable with where college football is right now?
He's not happy with it. I think Nick's shown he could adjust and adapt as well as anybody. And, he may voice his opinion. And when Nick speaks, people listen. Sometimes he gets criticized for it, but I don't think he really cares about that. If he thinks that there's something that he needs to say, he will say it. But no, I don't think this version of football is his favorite. He's not big on the transfer portal. He's not big on NIL being used as a recruiting inducement. I don't think Nick has any problem at all with kids getting money once they get to school. And certainly the kids that, the Bryce Youngs of the world and the Will Andersons of the world, those kids that deserve it and have earned it. And that's his big thing, is when they've earned it, absolutely they should get every penny they can possibly get. But the way it's become a sort of an arms race out of high school and kids getting $300,000 and $800,000 and $1 million just to come to school. And then the transfer portal. The thing he hates most, and I think most coaches, it's not just Saban, hate the most about the transfer portal, is all the middlemen involved. That, hey, if you get in the portal, man, I can get you a deal at X school,
Right.
a deal at Y school, and a deal at Z school. And that's just hard to combat. And that's going on all the time. And I don't know what the answer is to it. And I know some people talk, there's a lot of people, even in my profession, who talk about how great NIL has been, and it hasn't been the ruinization of college football. And I agree, it hasn't been. Some people probably overreacted about what it was going to be because, listen, the sport's as popular as it's ever been. People are watching, TV ratings are out the roof. It's already been entertaining. Look at what Deion's done for the sport. And we talked about the SEC, the balance and the depth in the SEC. But I think the problem is what's going to happen a couple of years from now. How sustainable is the system the way we know it right now? What's it going to look like? Will there be any structure put in? I don't think anybody has any problem that's realistic. Some fans might, with kids making money, because we're probably long since due. That's probably long since overdue.
Right.
As helping schools generate millions of dollars, that he should he should get a little piece of that pie. And I think we're there. But how to go about doing it, I still think, Mick, that at some point we're going to get into something similar to the NFL where the players have representation and they negotiate, I don't know what percentage of what's being brought in, with TV, all that's revenue.
Right.
And my opinion, and I think the best way to do it, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, is let the schools divvy it up, that everybody gets the same, if the players' representation negotiates, all right, they're going to get 30% or they're going to get $25 million every school. I'm just throwing those numbers out. Let the school decide how they're going to divvy that money up. All right, we're going to pay our quarterback $5 million. Left guard, we're going to pay $25,000. Very similar to what we see in the NFL. But
right.
I think at some point we're going to get to a system that at least mirrors that.
Very interesting. That's something that I've watched Shannon Terry from On3 kind of comment on quite a bit, and and different people. I mean, I don't know how it's going to play out. The system was so broken in the beginning that a player would have his jersey being sold in the team store and then not get any money off of it. And now I feel like we're kind of at the other end of it where it doesn't feel like amateur sports anymore. But that's such a deep topic. I'm glad we kind of brushed on it. But let's kind of focus back on the game between Alabama and Texas A&M. The spread in this game's gone from 7 all the way down to, like around, between 2 and 1, depending on where you get it at. Alabama's still a slight favorite. But Vegas feels like Texas A&M, that's where all the money's going right now. And it's because their defense and the way that they match up against Alabama's offensive line, I feel like.
Well, I think the feeling is that A&M is good enough across their front seven that they're not going to let Bama run the football. And they're going to make Milroe beat them throwing the football or making an explosive play or two in the run game, which he's certainly capable of. I think that's probably the feeling. As I talk to people around college football, that's what everyone says. And, you look at the spread, I was surprised. And a lot of people remember when Ole Miss and Bama played. I think Bama was only like a 5-point favorite in that game. And a lot of people said, I would take Ole Miss straight up. And defensively, I think Bama played better than anybody would have expected them to in that game. And really, in truth, is much better defensively than anybody probably anticipated outside the Malmore Athletic Center when the season began. They're really good. They're getting better. Their secondary is really starting to gel. They got to stay healthy, and getting Lawson back in middle linebacker, I think there's a decent chance, or at least a chance, that he'll be available to play Saturday. He didn't play last week. That's where they're the most thin. Mick is there at inside linebacker, and getting him back, if he is indeed healthy enough to play and do all the things they need him to do at middle linebacker, that's a big that's a coup for Bama in this game. So can they hold A&M down? Can this be a 24-21 type game? Very similar to last year. Bama wins. I think it was 24-21.
Yeah, I think it was. Or 24-20, yeah.
And remember, A&M's on the goal line with a chance to win that game. I was at the game late in the game, and Bama keeps them out. And remember, too, Milroe was the starter. He went the whole way in that game last year. Turned the football over 3 times. And I think that's what he can't do the rest of the year. He made some big plays against Texas.
Right.
But he also turned the football over. And certainly the first turnover in that game changed the complexion of the football game. And that's where I think certainly he knows that, and the rest of the team knows that he's got to take care of the football because, again, he typically has been good for 1 or 2 big explosive plays a game. And I think he's going to give you that. He just can't turn it over. And I think that's the key in this game, is not to give A&M short fields and certainly not to just give them touchdowns. But no, I saw the line, same as you. When it was close to 7 initially, I thought, man, that's way too big. I don't think Bama is a touchdown favorite or a touchdown better than these guys on what's a really tough place to play there at Kyle Field. But as it's going down, it's probably going down more. I'd say some of it is that, what's behind Milroe. Milroe's been hit a lot. He's been sacked a lot. They've given up a ton of sacks. So 5 games in, he's taking a lot of hits. Where is he health-wise? And if he can't play, let's say he gets knocked out or can't play, then there's nobody behind him. I'm thinking even if you're the most loyal, passionate Alabama fan, you could say right now, I feel is ready to go in and step in and play in that environment and lead Alabama to a win.
Yeah. Final prediction. Give me a prediction on the game.
I still think Bama is a better football team. I think their defense is good enough and will force enough turnovers in this game that I think they can win a 27-21, 24-20 type of game. And I still think, listen, we talked about Jimbo and Nick at the outset of our conversation. Nick may not say it, he may not show it, but he knows exactly two things. What happened the last time they went to Kyle Field? They rushed the field. It was the first time he'd ever lost to one of his former assistants. And I promise you, you remember some of the things that Jimbo said last year during Jimbo's rant. He'll have his team ready to play, and I do think it'll be a good football game, but I think Alabama wins.
All right, that's Chris Lowe from ESPN, the best in the business. When we come back, more of the original Bama Tailgate Show. Alabama, Texas A&M.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Barry Buckner. It all adds up. Every time a Tuscaloosa Hyundai customer refers a friend or family member to come see us, we are truly grateful. I compare it to doubling a penny for 30 days. Believe it or not, by day 30, that one penny is over $5 million. Now that's adding up. I remind every Tuscaloosa Hyundai team member, it's only a satisfied customer who will give you a referral. That ultimate compliment earned by effort and excellence. And Tuscaloosa Hyundai has all the tools. A new vehicle lineup to meet any driving need. Premium pre-owned under 100,000 miles that we stand behind with our exclusive 1,000,000-mile warranty. Award-winning service, a company that values being named best of the best by our community. But above all, we are sincere in earning the trust that leads to a customer referral. And trust is priceless. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa. Located at 2703 6th Street across from the Home 2 Suites. Come down to R&R and see why we're the ultimate cigar and bourbon experience. With over 165 bourbons and 5 private barrels, our selection of bourbon is unmatched. We have the best cocktails around and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Check out Pawn Royale at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. The summer season is almost over. Time to go to Pawn Royale and find some amazing deals. Right now, our lawn and gardening inventory must go. That includes mowers, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, you name it. Pawn Royale has deals on everything. Many items at cost or less. If you're in the market, come make a deal. That's Pawn Royale, 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Unique on the Strip. It's the best place to watch sports.
You're not even kidding. 11 TVs, NFL and MLB package, NHL, EPL, and so much more. If you want a game, they have it.
Now they're doing weekly NFL Pick'em, winners every Sunday, and grand prizes on Super Bowl Sunday.
And we haven't even mentioned the drink specials.
Of course they have daily drink specials. You can see them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Unique T-Town every day.
Unique on the Strip. The best place to watch sports in Tuscaloosa.
This is my great escape.
Where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players,
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Great to have you guys with us on the original Bama Tailgate Show. We're brought to you by Yuengling Loggers. We get you ready for Alabama and Texas A&M. We do this every Saturday across the state of Alabama on radio, and we appreciate all of you guys that are with us today talking football like we do. Alabama and Texas A&M, 2:30 Kyle Field College Station. And on this segment, which is presented by the good people at Pearl River Resort, we always bring in Reagan from R&R Cigar and the Wizard of Odds out in Vegas, Mr. Kenny White. And before I do that, guys, I want to put up the standings right now so Reagan can gloat a little bit because he is right now the leader of the pack. And look at that, Reagan at 9-6, a game lead over Kenny. And then there I am. At least I've won at least one game the last couple of weeks, but still ready to make my move at 3-12. And we'll start with you, Reagan, since you're ahead this week. It's Kentucky at number 1, Georgia. The spread is 14. Where are you going, my friend?
Well, this is a tough one. I'm actually kind of torn on this one. Do you believe the hype? Or are you going to get fooled by Kentucky once again? You know, I feel like we do this every year with Kentucky. They get out to a strong start and then end up going 6-6 or 7-5. I'm going to go with Kentucky this week. That's a big line. Georgia did not cover versus South Carolina and has looked pretty – they didn't cover – I mean, I don't think Georgia's covered the last 3 weeks. So why not a fourth week? Why not me? Why not us? Why not?
All right, Kenny, welcome to the show out in Vegas. Kenny White's power ratings. You use those to help you make your picks. I love going back and watching you talk after the show because I'll tell you what, you're so good at this. Number 20, Kentucky at number 1, Georgia, 14 points. Tell Reagan why he's right or he's wrong, and I'm going next.
You know, look at that room that Reagan's. It's full of smoke. I don't know how he's living there. It's smoke. I can't even see him. There's so much smoke. But you know, the power ratings. I have to update those power ratings every single day with injuries and whatever. After games, they're updated after each game. So there goes Reagan again. He's smoking everywhere. Somebody call the fire department for Reagan.
It's not smoke. It's just my laptop's got a smudged. I tried to make it so that the government can't see me when when I just have my computer open. So,
and it's so the power ratings, Mick, this week say Georgia by 18. And I pretty, the power ratings are all math. And I always say that the equation of betting sports is 80% math, 20% science. So you start out with that number that gives you your starting point. And then I adjust from there, whether there's a look ahead, a letdown, could be revenge from last year. Number of things. It could be weather. But in this game, I think 18 is the right number. I think Georgia is ready to probably lay it on somebody. I'm sure that it's been a frustrating year for this team. Even though they're still undefeated, they just haven't blown anybody out, and they've been down at halftime in several games this year. So at home, they know Kentucky and what they've seen out of Kentucky. I think they have respect for Stoops. I think Georgia finally puts a big number on the board, so I'll lay the 14 with the Bulldogs.
All right, guys, and with this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to lay the 14 at home with Georgia. I think that scare against Auburn has definitely gotten their attention. Look, if Kentucky wins this, they're legit, even if they cover this spread. But I just feel like it's going to be kind of something like 21-6 or somewhere in that neighborhood. For this one. All right, second game that we're going to do, I'll let you go first, Wizard of Odds. It's Arkansas at Ole Miss. Last week, Ole Miss surprised me by going out there and racking up 700-plus yards of offense. They take on Arkansas. It's your classic letdown after a big win game, or maybe Ole Miss is just going to keep on rolling. It's 11.5.
I'm going to go with the classic letdown game, Mick. That they will have a letdown after a big win last week, and my numbers just don't say it's that high as well. I only have Mississippi, I think 7.5 in this spot at home against Arkansas. KJ Jefferson, plenty good enough to spread the football around and put up points on the scoreboard. So he's pretty dynamic quarterback. I think it's going to be an extremely high scoring game. I bet this game over also went over 65 here.
All right. How about you, Reagan? We can't. Let me unmute you, Reagan. There you go. Reagan, you got to unmute yourself.
I would like to know when we're going to have a real conversation about KJ Jefferson as great value Jamarcus Russell. He is not good. Liberty held him to like less than 150 passing yards. He throws the games. He threw the game away last week versus A&M. I've never seen him look, except for like the one time versus Alabama, which I think everybody bases their opinion off of him because they don't watch him week in and week out, but he's not good. Give me Ole Miss an 11.5, and now Kenny's 0-2 this week.
I'm going to take Ole Miss.
My league gets bigger.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to take Ole Miss in this one as well. I think Ole Miss is going to cover it. They're fired up, and I think that they have some momentum after their game. All right, let me pick this one first, and then you guys will go after me. Alabama at Texas A&M. I got it at 2.5. That's where we got it at. This spreads all the way down to 1. The question is, will Milroe play or not? I'm taking Texas A&M in the points here at 2.5. I don't really know what's going on. Obviously, there's a movement. I've taken whoever Alabama's played the last couple of weeks, and I've lost both of them happily. So I'm kind of hoping that this continues. Maybe Alabama wins this one by a point or two, but I think it's going to be a really close defensive battle in College Station. And all the line movement has definitely made it to where I would not bet on this game in real life. Reagan?
There you go again. You guys keep picking against Alabama week in and week out. We're on the Bama Tailgate Show, and you guys are out here not taking out. Like, what are you doing? I don't even you know what? You guys don't have to bet on Alabama, because one thing that the viewers can count on is week in and week out, I believe in Alabama. Even when you two guys are just over there doubting and hating. I saw something last week at Alabama I hadn't seen in 3 years, and that was Nick Saban cursing and screaming and popping blood vessels. Okay? If that Nick Saban is back, they're not losing again. They're not. That passion and that fire that he had last week, if he keeps that up, they aren't losing again. I don't care if Milroe's playing or if Buckner's playing. God, I hope it's Lonergan's playing, because I want to see Lonergan's. But they're not losing. I have a box of Victory cigars right here with your name on it, Mick. All right? So, anyway, Alabama wins.
All right, what you got going on at R&R?
Well, like I said, I got the new Tennessee Victory cigars. They're just here. They're here, only here by La Flor Dominicana. Get them for the Tennessee game. We got 50 boxes. When they're gone, they're gone.
All right, that's Reagan, R&R Cigar. It's our hangout, too, over there in Tuscaloosa at the Cigar Mansion. Kenny, bringing you on. Reagan's been red hot. You're trying to stay with him right now. Alabama at Texas A&M. What you got on this one?
Reagan is right. It's the Alabama Tailgate Show, and it's hard to go against them. We have, but they were big favorites. I hate to do it once again, but I stick to my power ratings, and my power ratings have A&M a 6-point favorite in this game with Jalen Milroe at the quarterback. If Buckner or Simpson play, I could easily make A&M 8 in this game. So strong play for me. I already took from my pocket. I've got a ticket in my pocket, plus 4.5 with Texas A&M. But for our contest, I still got to go with the Aggies here. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Alabama. I still love you.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Look, and tell everyone how they can get those power ratings and what you've been up to, Kenny.
Very easy to do. Go to KennyWhiteSports.com. Sign up there. $20 a month. Get you power ratings for the college football, the NFL, The baseball playoffs are going right now. The NBA's coming up, NHL, and college basketball. You get 6 different sets of ratings for $20 a month.
All right. And let me remind you guys that the original Bama Football Tailgate Show is brought to you by Pearl River Resort and Casino in Choctaw. Now's a great time to make your picks count at the Timeout Sports Lounge and Sportsbook located at Golden Moon Casino and Hotel. Timeout Sportsbook is just awesome. And it's got all the traditional betting that you want. It's got that Vegas feel, and it's less than 2 hours from Tuscaloosa and Birmingham. 20 TVs with feeds from all the major sports network, 12 state-of-the-art wager boards, and 3 wager stations. In-person bets are available as well, and the full bar. It's great, and we appreciate them, and we will talk to you guys again next week, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if our info's right. What we're hearing out in Vegas. This game has become really interesting. 2:30 kickoff, Kyle Field, Alabama, Texas A&M.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Flora-Bama, and it's time for Flora-Bama Fun Facts. The Flora-Bama first opened in 1964, and we're celebrating our 59th year of doing it on the line. We host over 150 events every year, including Mullet Toss, Oktoberfest, Halloween Costume Party, Frank Brown Songwriters, Thanksgiving and Christmas Potluck, the biggest New Year's Eve party, and of course, the Polar Bear Plunge on January 1st. All the events, including our live music schedule, are available online at florabama.com.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Yingling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yingling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yingling, bring the goods.
R&R Cigars invites you to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa. The best cigar selection and bourbon in the Southeast awaits you. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, near Home 2 Suites, or Northport, next to Winn-Dixie. TheCigarMansion.com.
See yourself in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players,
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I got no sound. Can you hear me, Mick? Yeah, I can't hear you guys. I don't know what's up.
This one on it. How about now? Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we're going to have to.
Yeah.
Look at that. Jen's here. Hey, the show's brought to you by Yingling Lager, America's oldest brewery. I've got some beers here. She also brought a Bushwhacker, but we're hanging out yeah, look at this, Lance.
I'm jealous.
Lance, I'm going to tell you the story that one time I drank too many of these on the air, and I was afraid I was going to get let go. And now I wish it was on film.
Now it's his favorite story.
I love telling it.
It's well, you know how we roll when we're down there. And somebody was asking me, "Are you coming back Army Navy?" This was yesterday. I was like, "Oh yeah." So we've already got plans to come back. Flora-Bama, best bar in the world. Can't wait. You guys do a great job, and I am jealous. I know you live there, Jennifer, but I am jealous. Mick made the trip over.
Well, the goal is to get you to live here too. I try and get everybody we like to move down here. So I guess we're working on it pretty well.
Well, you guys, I don't know. The first time y'all had us down last August, so August of 2022, I tried. I mean, I was there for 7 nights.
Oh, trust me. I got the text messages. Hey, when's checkout? Can I sing one more day?
One more night.
Big Earl's not here tonight, but when I saw him last week, I thought about you and your singing performance with Big Earl.
Multiple times. He's gotten up there more than once.
Yeah, a little shaky. And then
are you working on it?
I got it with somebody else. I forgot what the band was. The last time we were in town, Paul Register got him to get me up there, and I ended up doing I think I did Family Tradition. I can't sing, but I don't think anybody cares at the Bama.
Here's what I think, though. We should practice in advance something that is completely abnormal. They wouldn't think you would sing. You get up there and you blow it out of the park, and everyone is blown away.
I mean, I could do some NWA. I don't know if
We'll get you up there at like midnight. That'll be perfect.
Hey, true story. Have you guys ever watched? I'm sure it's come through Mobile. Have you guys seen the Black Jacket Symphony where they do an album?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. And, I've seen, a couple of the Zeppelins. I've seen Fleetwood Mac. I've seen a bunch of them. But I tried to get the guy that created it to do NWA Straight Outta Compton because I told him I can be Eazy-E.
Classic album.
I want to know that guy. That what he's created is fantastic. It's such a cool experience if you've ever done it.
Awesome. Our producer, you haven't met him, Jennifer, but I've talked to your husband about getting him booked at some point down there because he's so talented. Mick knows Rockstar, but
Rockstar,
yeah, he has fronted for Pearl Jam. He has fronted for Fleetwood Mac. I mean, he's done David Bowie on the Queen tour, so he's very, very talented.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I mean, he's definitely got the credentials for sure.
All right, guys, we got a football game, 2:30, Kyle Field, Alabama, Texas A&M. Lance, what the hell's going on in Vegas, man? This has been the weirdest week as far as this line. Is Milroe playing or not? I'm hearing from my buddies out there that are in the business to tell me he's not playing, but everybody at Alabama says he is playing. Yeah. So what's going on?
I talked to somebody I really trust yesterday. And he said he's had a great week of practice. And
so where did this come from?
I really believe, guys, that this number is about right. I don't know where the rumor started, but I think the money that dipped down was just short money on A&M. And so it went from some books 4.5 when it opened all the way down to 1.5. It's back up to 2.5 because I think your Bama bettors waited until it got down to 1.5. and then they popped it, and so it's gone back to 2.5. The total went from 50.5 when this rumor started down to 46.5. It hasn't gone back up. So I don't know if there's people out there that believe. I don't think the numbers, so to speak, had anything to do with that. I think the total is something to watch out for. I think he'll play. I've handicapped this game. I've talked about it all week. I like A&M. I think A&M wins the game whether Milroe. If Milroe doesn't play, I think A&M could win the game going away. But I think Milroe will play. I think the problem is going to be that offensive line. And you look at A&M over the last 2 weeks, they've had 15-plus tackles for loss in back-to-back games. And that defensive line is dominant. I heard the joke Roman Harper told us on our show this week. It is the highest paid defensive line in college football for good reason. As long as Max Johnson doesn't play bad football, I think Alabama's got some issues here. We'll see.
Well, hopefully you're wrong. I mean, obviously this is the Bama Tailgate Show, but,
I haven't made any friends. Everybody's like, why do you hate Bama? And I'm like, I graduated from Bama. Bama's great for business. It's just what I feel. I mean, I think A&M wins this game.
Well, look, I'm not holding it against you. Kenny White, who's the guy that I talk to out in Vegas each week on this show, told me on the record that there's a guy in Boston who handicaps and is sharp, and he came out with the information that maybe Bryce Young or some NFL quarterback was out. He was right, and that's where this whole thing came. I just really feel like the line moved like crazy because of that. I just wonder if there's anything to it. I mean, is this a cortisone shot? Is this, but yeah, I mean, I'm hearing the guys practicing too. There's nothing to it. But I don't buy it that this is just some misinformation campaign, man.
Well, go ahead, Jennifer. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, and I could be wrong. You've been around this thing a lot longer than me.
I mean, I feel good he's going to play. Even with him playing, though, I mean, let's talk about this objectively. He's getting better. I think Jalen Milroe can end up being a really good quarterback. I think the offensive line is getting better. I'm still not sure there's a lot of playmakers around him. This Texas A&M run defense is really good. They get after the quarterback. So even if Milroe plays, I'm not going to be surprised if he turns it over once or twice. That environment is going to be electric. It's going to be by far the most hostile environment he's ever started a football game in. I think there's a lot of pressure on Milroe. There's a lot of pressure on the other side, too, on Max Johnson. So I think and this is so simple. This is football 101. Whatever quarterback makes the least mistakes and plays clean football, that team will win this game.
Hanging out with Lance Taylor, Jen Parnell, I'm Mick Gillispie. This is the original Bama Football Tailgate Show. We're live at the Flora-Bama. All right, guys, we're going to take a timeout from football, and we're going to talk about Flora-Bama drinks.
Oh, drinks.
Yeah. You brought me a Bushwhacker. Your favorite drinks here. Your favorite drinks. You first, Jen, and then you, LT. I want to hear this.
I mean, my favorite drink is a Pickers blueberry and soda or a Pickers pink lemon and soda. I love those drinks. They're the best.
So like a vodka and soda with Pickers vodka.
Flavored vodka soda, yeah.
What about you, LT?
So look, during the day, and this is such a sad
transitions from day to night. Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Like my football Saturdays, Jen, I will drink Stella's. I'll probably start at 11 or 12 tomorrow, and I will do that until the sun sets, and then I will get on chicken cock bourbon. Proud sponsors of the show. So that's kind of my routine there. And then I'll hit an edible once the late games start.
Just throw it in the mix.
I'm glad you're throwing it out there.
Make sure you hit all the areas, right?
Well, when I'm with you guys down there, it's Steve Powers. Uncle Steve.
Uncle Steve.
Roll out.
I call him Grandpa Steve, but
he's helped me on a couple of things down there. So he plays.
He's the best.
But I'll start with the Bushwhacker about 9:30, 10 a.m.
Right.
And I can only have like 2 or 3 of those just because they're so filling, but they're delicious.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Nice beer run. And then I'll go straight bourbon on ice. And that's when I end up getting on stage and singing. But you can't go wrong. I mean, everything tastes better at the Bama. It's fact.
I think that you need to write that down, and that's going to be like a pamphlet we hand out to people when they walk in and they've never been here, and they say, well, what's this place about? How do we do this? I'm going to give them that.
It's so much fun here.
I can say this. So my girlfriend is from LA, and Mickey
Lower Alabama?
No,
we're from LA.
And I don't know if you met her. Did she come to the Flora-Bama with us?
Yes.
Yeah.
I sat with you guys on the beach out here.
He
was already 3 Bushwhackers in.
Yeah, right. I don't know if you met her, but I was going to tell you, she's like, I have never been to a place like this in my life. She's more of the Miami club vibe.
Right.
Yeah. She's like, I couldn't rave enough to her friends back home. She was like, it was incredible. So I've never met anybody. If you can't have a good time at the Flora-Bama, you just can't have a good time. It's just fact.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. But it's all about the people. So that would mean you and your girlfriend and Mick, it's everybody coming together. It's supposed to be ultimate no judgment place where you can come and just enjoy life.
Well, that's the thing. Like I've been a lot recently, as you know. Knock on wood, I haven't seen any fights. Everybody is so cool. Everybody's in a great mood. And it's why people are like, New Orleans is can I cuss on this show?
No.
Okay.
We're on radio.
Okay.
Oh, no.
You remember radio. Yeah. You lived on it for years.
Yeah. They dog out New Orleans. They're like, the place is dirty. It's dangerous. And I'm like, the thing I love about New Orleans, much like the Bama, is everybody just lets their hair down and they go for a specific reason. It's to get away from everyday life and have a great time. And I can't hype you guys up enough. And it's not just for effect. I mean, anybody that's listening and watching, and the majority of people probably have been to the Bama, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, when you're here in December, I'll have your goodie bag ready for you.
I can't wait. I want to get back on that boat. Mick went on the boat with us. That boat. Have y'all sold it though, or are y'all getting a new boat? I don't know if I'm in.
Tell everyone about the boat. It's like a giant.
It's a 40-foot Invincible, and we haven't sold it. They were going to sell it, but they're not. So it will be here when you're here, so we can go out on a boat ride. Yep.
I love it.
I love the boat.
Yep.
I'm trying.
What's my captain's name? Was it Brett?
Brent.
Yeah,
he's the best. Yeah.
Jake Coker. If you're ever out there with him, Jen, and I'll shut up, Mick, but if you're ever out there with him, ask him the craziest story that he's ever seen as a boat captain. And he told us this incredible story about a bunch of swingers. It is amazing.
Hopefully they weren't local.
Man, it wasn't on your boat. It was on another boat.
It was on another boat?
Thank goodness.
Yeah, thank God. Hey, I want you to sit down on the Invincible if he told that story.
That's terrible. Hey, where did we find that boat? No, I'm just kidding. Hey,
it was actually Lance.
That's how Lance knows it. This wink. Jake Coker and I want to do the Elephant in the Room podcast after you guys do your show here next time.
Let's do it, man. I'm planning if we can make this happen, and we've already talked to Uncle Steve about it. We're planning on coming down the Thursday night before Army Navy, so it's like December 7th, 8th, 9th, something like that. And
deal on our end.
Yeah, we'll stay. We'll do a show Friday, and you guys can follow us up, and then we'll do a specialty show. You guys can actually do the show with us. All 5 of us can do a Saturday show leading up.
Good.
Be fun, man. Yeah, be fun. All right, look, when we come back from this break, Lance, can you stick around?
I'm gonna go pour another beer.
Go get another beer. We're gonna come back, and I'm gonna talk about this Alabama Texas A&M game. I want to get your perspective on it. I know how you feel about this game, but I want to know why. I want specifics. Let's get into that. I'm going to tell you why I'm taking Alabama. I think Alabama's going to win this game. I know I am a little concerned with the Milroe thing, but maybe the guy's been practicing. Maybe he's all right. And that would be if.
Is there any way to know in advance? Like, are you just going to know tomorrow?
You'll know when he runs out there.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, if he isn't playing, Nick Saban and that staff, they will tell nobody.
No.
And it will be one of those when you turn on CBS, it'll be like right before kick, Ty Simpson is going to be starting for Alabama.
That would be that would be terrible.
that would pretty much going in outside of just Max Johnson crapping the bed. That would almost be bookable to me for A&M winning that game.
We'll talk about it when we get back. I think you might be underestimating how good the Bama scoring defense is.
I know.
How good this defense is.
I'm going to tell you a couple of things I'm weary of, and one of that is that. But we can get into that one.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about this Alabama and Texas A&M game, hanging out with LT and Jen. I'm Mick Gillispie. More of the original Bama Tailgate Show right after this.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Barry Buckner. It all adds up. Every time a Tuscaloosa Hyundai customer refers a friend or family member to come see us, we are truly grateful. I compare it to doubling a penny for 30 days. Believe it or not, by day 30, that one penny is over $5 million. Now that's adding up. I remind every Tuscaloosa Hyundai team member, it's only a satisfied customer who will give you a referral. That ultimate compliment earned by effort and excellence. And Tuscaloosa Hyundai has all the tools. A new vehicle lineup to meet any driving need. Premium pre-owned under 100,000 miles that we stand behind with our exclusive million-mile warranty. Award-winning service, a company that values being named best of the best by our community. But above all, we are sincere in earning the trust that leads to a customer referral. And trust is priceless. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, located at 2703 6th Street across from the Home 2 Suites. Come down to R&R and see why we're the ultimate cigar and bourbon experience. With over 165 bourbons and 5 private barrels, our selection of bourbon is unmatched. We have the best cocktails around, and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world-class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Check out Pawn Royale at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. The summer season is almost over. Time to go to Pawn Royale and find some amazing deals. Right now, our lawn and gardening inventory must go. That includes mowers, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, you name it. Pawn Royale has deals on everything. Many items at cost or less. If you're in the market, come make a deal. That's Pawn Royale, 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Unique on the Strip. It's the best place to watch sports.
You're not even kidding. 11 TVs, NFL and MLB package, NHL, EPL, and so much more. If you want a game, they have it.
Now they're doing weekly NFL Pick'em, winners every Sunday, and grand prizes on Super Bowl Sunday.
And we haven't even mentioned the drink specials.
Of course they have daily drink specials. You can see them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Unique T-Town every day.
Unique on the Strip. The best place to watch sports in Tuscaloosa.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Back on the original Bama Tailgate Show, talking Alabama and Texas A&M. Alabama number 11 taking on Texas A&M. This segment is presented by Tuscaloosa Hyundai, the Sinatra, the Elantra, the Sinatra, and SUV like the Tucson. Tailgating doesn't get any better than Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Barry Buckner does not put side stickers on any of the cars, which I love.
Would like that too.
Yeah, like go in, here's the price, buy the car. And Hyundais are even made in Alabama now, like a lot of them. So
they got a big plant up right outside Montgomery.
Yeah, right outside of Montgomery. So with LT and Jen, I'm Mick, talking football. LT, I'm going to bring you back in right now from the next round, and guy that has been on radio a long time. You've already said that you think that Texas A&M is going to win this football game outright. It's a slim odds at home, but why is this game so tough for Bama in your mind?
Well, and let me put this in perspective. So, I've been handicapping for a long time, and I've got a website, lanceslock.com, shameless plug. We've had a great year, by the way. But I'm giving this out as just a 1-unit play. Like, I've got a 5-unit up tomorrow. So this is just like a very average play. So I don't love this game. This game scares me because of Max Johnson. This game scares me because if you take the 21 points away in the fourth quarter that Texas scored, Alabama, the rest of the season, has given up 50 points in 19 quarters. I mean, that's under 3 points per quarter. That defense is airtight. And I don't think A&M is going to have much success against them. I mean, really, the play to look at is the under 46.5. I haven't gone. I'm going to go back and do totals tonight. I've got 11 plays for tomorrow, but I'm going to take a look at totals, and I do like this under. Because I don't know how A&M is going to manufacture a lot of offense. But I will say this about the A&M offense with Bobby Petrino calling the plays now. It's more innovative. They've got a ton of playmakers, and they jump out early. They have scored on their first 2 possessions in every game this season. And just imagine with that Kyle Field crowd, if they were to go up 10-0 on Alabama. And you've got still an inexperienced quarterback, whether it's Jalen Milroe or – God forbid for Alabama fans, it's, Ty Simpson. That's going to be a tough hole for Bama to crawl out of.
It just sounds like a fun game to go at. Like, obviously, I'm an Auburn fan, but my husband's an Alabama fan, so we go to Alabama games too. So I feel like I would love being in the environment to watch this game. I mean, there's obviously a lot of hype around it. It would be very entertaining.
Guess where I was, Jen, last Saturday?
Were you in Auburn?
I was in Jordan-Hare.
Did you love it?
And I'll tell you this, and everybody thought it was crazy. I was like, I like Auburn. I think they've got a shot to win this game. And people are like, you're insane.
It was a good game. Obviously, we didn't pull it out, but it was a great game.
And I hadn't been to Auburn in a while. I typically go to 1 or 2 games a year. I'll go to a Bama game with friends, and then I'll go to the SEC championship. And I decided to go with friends to Auburn this past weekend. And the atmosphere is incredible. Beautiful campus, great tailgate. Just couldn't close the deal, but it was a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, look at you guys.
Yeah.
Well, this is the original Bama Tailgate Show, and I'm talking about.
That's right. Sorry about that. Well, I started out saying I want to be in this Alabama game. Like, I think it's a great environment. It sounds like a good game. I said that I would enjoy being there and watch the game.
No, there's 3 campuses I haven't been to in the SEC, and one of them is A&M. I've never been to Kyle Field, and I've always wanted to go. It's just. I don't know. I just haven't. But I've heard the atmosphere is incredible. Fan base is great. They're going to be jacked too, because this is obviously their season. It's Alabama's season too. You can't afford 2 losses. More than likely, season's over. At least the ultimate goal of winning a national championship. But I think A&M, the Miami loss wasn't a joke. Miami is legitimate. They control their own destiny, obviously. And I think everybody's like, we're all in. We beat Bama 2 years ago as double-digit, almost 3 touchdown underdogs with Zach Calzada. Now we've got all of these great recruits coming together. We've got playmakers offensively. We've got a guy that actually can call great offensive plays. I think they're buying in. I think A&M fans truly believe they're going to win this game. And this is going to be one of the most deflated fan bases you've ever seen if they lose this game tomorrow.
Yeah, Bobby Petrino, I got to bring this up, LT. Didn't have a lot of success against Nick Saban when he was at Arkansas. Just an FYI on that too. But
I also want to bring this up. Bobby Petrino was the guy that developed a lot of players at Arkansas. It's not like he had a bunch of studs. They ended up being studs. What he's got at A&M, these are, again, the best players money can buy. It's fact.
Hey, look, I'm not arguing with that. I mean, Saban said that a while ago. Where do you think Alabama's defense stacks up against the Aggies?
I think they're pretty equivalent. I think if there's an efficiency for Alabama, and I think you would agree with me on this, I think it's the defensive line, and I think that is the strength of A&M. Like, I think Alabama's second and third levels are better than A&M. I'm hearing Deontay Lawson. There's a good chance he plays tomorrow. I don't know if that's gotten official or not. Jahi Campbell was great last week, but their secondary, I mean, Terrion Arnold, what he's been able to do, nobody throws at Kool-Aid. But Arnold, they try to pick on him, and he has become a guy that is great in one-on-one situations. And Caleb Downs, I can't say enough about that dude. I mean, leading Alabama in tackles by double digits over the next guy. 13 tackles and a pick last week. I mean, he's already playing like he's been on campus 3 years.
Can Alabama run the ball in the Aggies, in your opinion?
I don't know. You know, Alabama, this running back by committee, I think Roydell and Jace are good. Got to see a little more Justice Haynes this past week. I'm ready to see more Jam Miller. I just don't know how good the run blocking is. And this is an A&M defense. I think they're going to get the push up front. They only give up 96 yards per game on the ground. If Alabama's able to go out there and have 200-plus rushing yards, you know, then it's a hell of a game for Alabama, and they've got a great shot at winning. But if A&M limits them to 125 or less, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, look, I think Alabama's got a chance with Milroe at quarterback in this game, because I just think the explosive plays are something that if they get a couple of them with that great defense and put Max Johnson in a spot where he's got to throw the football, I don't know it's going to turn out well for him. I mean, he did have 3 turnovers last game, 2 of them are fumbles. And I'm not saying he's an interception-prone quarterback, but when Alabama gets pressure on the quarterback with Dallas Turner, and whether Lawson's in there or not, Campbell's been great. So is Marshall.
Yeah.
But Malachi Moore, Kool-Aid, Downs, all those guys, they've been so great in that Alabama secondary, man. I mean, like, I just feel like they figure out a way to get this thing done. But I can see why you would say, hey, the smart money, you got to put it on Texas A&M.
Well, you know, outside of Jalen Milroe being healthy and this offensive line against that defensive front, I mentioned this earlier, I just don't know how many playmakers are out there. So Alabama's leading receiver through 5 games is Isaiah Bond. If you go back to the last elite receiver, well, I'm going to go back a little bit before Jamison Williams. Devontae Smith, when he won a Heisman in 2020. Through his first 4 games, sharing reps and sharing the ball with Jalen Waddle, he had 38 receptions. And now we're talking about the leading receiver. Only one Alabama guy has got in Isaiah Bond double-digit receptions. I don't know how good these receivers are. I mean, I think they're good. I just don't think you have an elite guy. So I don't know how many explosive plays you're going to get against this Aggie defense.
All right. Well, you know what? I mean, I'm going to give my take on this game when we come back, but always great to catch up with you, LT. We got to do it again soon and come out here and hang out. And it's been so much fun. Jake was on the show earlier to get together with him twice a week on Roll Tide Pods with the Elephant in the Room. And appreciate you guys for putting us on, man. It's been fun.
Did you tell him about your new shirt?
Oh,
LT,
yeah.
We got some new shirts you got to get.
Yeah, look,
This was like a kid in a candy store earlier. It's got Flora-Bama on the little side right here, if you can see it. They're soft. They're flowy. A perfect boat shirt.
Man. Jen, I rocked my Flora-Bama T-shirt just 2 days ago. So
well, good. I'm going to get you some new ones when you get down here.
I'm showing the brand. We'll do a home and home. So, and by the way, you guys are doing great on Roll Tide Pods. We appreciate you guys being part of the Disrupt the media family. I'd love to do a home and home where I come down, broadcast with you guys down there, and then Mick, you need to come up here and watch football with me on a Saturday.
Dude, I'll do that, man. Let's go.
All day long.
Let's go, man.
This is not a humble brag because TVs are like, I mean, I remember buying a TV and paying a ton of money back when HD high definition came out in 2003. You can buy TVs for nothing now. But I've got it set up in my basement now where I can watch 12 games at one time.
Oh, I'm coming, man. I've heard from Meathead. He's told me that your place is legit.
Me and Braden are coming through Birmingham at the end of this month, and we're going to spend the night in Birmingham. So maybe we'll swing by and say hello.
Hey, you guys are more than welcome to stay with us, man. It's a fun time here. I'm too old to be doing this, but
never say that, dude.
I feel like you act like you're like 15, so I think you'll be fine.
Never say that. Well, look, man, Lance's Lock. Tell everyone about Lance's Lock.
Yeah, jump on board. 9 years in existence. We've had 8 of those have been winning years. We're already winning this year. We crushed it in the NFL last year and in college football. We're winning in both again this year. We'll win for you. Jump on board. We had a bad beat 2 nights ago with Middle Tennessee State. We're very transparent. We give you a free winner every day. The free winner tonight was the under in Kansas State, Oklahoma State. We've got a free winner up tomorrow. We've got 11 plays for tomorrow. So jump on board. It's only $100 a month. It's the best value out there. We will win for you at lanceslock.com.
All right, that's Lance Taylor, and always great to talk to him. Jen and I will be back, and I'm going to tell you why Alabama's going to win this football game when we return. More of the original Bama Tailgate Show right after this. Roll Tide, Lance.
See you, boy.
Yingling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yingling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yingling, bring the goods.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Flora-Bama, and we're excited that football is back. The Flora-Bama is proud to support Alabama football, and we invite you to join us at Flora-Bama Old River Grill for a game day experience like no other. We have over 40 TVs and a brand new game day menu that includes endless wings, Santa Fe egg rolls, street corn nachos, and so much more. Bring your friends and join us for all the college and NFL games. Flora-Bama's Old River Grill, open at 11 a.m. daily, right across the street from the world-famous Flora-Bama.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. PG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Tuscaloosa is Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Final segment of the original Bama Tailgate Show as we talk to you from here at the Flora-Bama like we do every time Alabama is on the road. And great to hang out with Jen Parnell and Mick Gillispie. Look, this has been so much fun. And I'm going to let you talk about the Flora-Bama, but I got to tell everyone why Alabama's going to win this football
Please
game.
do.
Okay, this is what's going to happen. Alabama's going to pressure the quarterback, and they're going to take advantage of turnovers. They're not going to make mistakes. And they're going to score enough points, and then Texas A&M is going to push late, and Alabama on defense is going to stop them and probably turn those possessions into more points. They've got the better kicker. They've got the better special teams. I think their defense is better. And I think that Alabama's going to play it smart. They're not going to try to do too much. They're going to run the ball and take shots when they can, and I think they're going to hit on those shots. I think this is going to be a breakout game for Jalen Milroe. And honestly, the last 3 quarters of football that Alabama's played, they've been really good quarters of football. I haven't seen it come out of Texas A&M. So,
well, you said they're going to play smart, and I feel like Alabama does play smart most of the time. So, I mean, if you're going to go that route, I think you got a really good shot to win.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, well, let's talk Flora-Bama, because I want, as we kind of hang out here and wrap it up, I want you to tell everyone what's going on down here, because I'm not going to be back for a while. We're Tuscaloosa, so I hate that. Yeah, I mean, my bushwhacker's almost gone. But yeah, you got to tell everyone what's going on.
Well, you would think that the summer would be the busiest time around Flora-Bama, but in terms of events, it certainly is the fall. So in October, we are extremely busy with all kinds of fun stuff going on. Tomorrow, for example, we have 3 events just in one day. We've got a paddle dash, which is a stand-up paddleboard competition. Are you going to be here at 7 o'clock in the morning to do that?
No.
Or 7:30 in the morning?
I love paddle dashes, but this isn't my year for that.
Gotcha. You've been training for a while. You're not ready for it. That's fine. It's fine. You can come watch. You can fall asleep across the street.
I love
and then you
the
can
things
wake up
that you
and be
guys do,
there.
because you raise money for veterans and you raise money for children charities and stuff. You guys are so involved in the community. I love that about down here.
So the next thing after the paddle dash is there is a liquor tasting. So you can taste some Horse Soldier bourbon at the liquor store from 11 to 2.
That might be fun.
It is. And then if you like it, we have some to purchase there, obviously. But then going into charity stuff. So USARA is an Army Ranger organization, and they have turned in, like, basically the Flora-Bama is one of their bases. They've called it the Gabe Kinney base. So he was a Merrill Marauders, and he passed away this past year, but he lived to be over 100, and he was one of the Merrill Marauders, which there's not very many of them. And so this base, they meet every single month, one time a month. Well, it happens to be the 30th anniversary. So they have all these Army Rangers from across the country coming to Flora-Bama tomorrow. And it also happens to coincide with what people across the country do called the Moog Mile. So it's the Battle of Mogadishu. If you've ever seen the movie Black Hawk Down, that's what it is.
Okay.
So people will go out on wherever. Ours is on the beach behind Flora-Bama, but it's just a 1 mile fun run walk. There's no sign up. People just do it in honor of these people who fought this battle. So we're doing that tomorrow at 12 o'clock on the beach. So you could also run that if you didn't want to come do the paddle dash.
Hey, there you go, man. All kind of cool stuff down here.
Then Sunday's Oktoberfest, don't forget.
And this awesome shirt that you got, Mick. I love walking through
so good? Yeah.
I love walking through the store, and I'm like, every time I'm in there, I see something that I need.
Need that.
Yeah, I need that. Well, great, Jen. Well, thanks for the hospitality. And
anytime.
I guess we'll be back when Alabama plays somebody on the road.
Yeah, I feel like it's in 3 weeks or so,
maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back again. But we love it here. I mean, this is,
I feel like this is your home.
Honestly, I feel the same way.
Clearly, it's a home away from home, right?
It really is. Let me remind you guys that the original Bama Tailgate Show is brought to you by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling is a 6th-generation company, a proud American company, and Cheryl Yuengling, who's part of the ownership group, is an Alabama grad, and she puts a little bit of crimson love in each one of those green bottles. And I know that you guys have been looking for that alternative to Mick Ultra. Try Yuengling Flight. It's crisp, it's refreshing, it's low on carbs, it's low on calories.
I love Yuengling.
Yeah, Yuengling Flight. And then if you're like me and you're into the craft beer scene, the Hershey's Porter is awesome.
I've not tried that. I'll have to try that one.
That one's so good. And then if you can get to the right spot, you can get some of the Oktoberfest. But that's kind of like pretty much gone by now. And don't forget, down here at the Flora-Bama, our home away from home, you got music that starts all day. It opens at 11 a.m. and closes at 3 a.m. You got bingo Monday through Fridays. You got bushwhackers. You got just so much fun here.
That's what we sell is fun.
I agree. LT was jealous. We were kind of making him jealous.
He's this close to buying a place down here. He can't stand it when he sees all his friends hanging out down here. This is the best place to be. Why wouldn't you want to be here every day?
I don't know. Look, I honestly feel good about Alabama in this football game today. I think that they're going to be able to establish the run. I don't think they're going to make mistakes. I know it's loud in Kyle Field, but I just think that Alabama turned a corner in the second half of that Ole Miss game. And I wanted LT on here to just kind of give his perspective, because I know he wasn't picking Alabama. But Alabama turned the corner against Ole Miss. So look at what they did against LSU. I mean, they went back and forth down the field. That's not going to happen. Max Johnson's going to be under pressure. Kevin Steele's defense is going to dial-up blitzes. The only reason Alabama played so poorly against Texas was they weren't getting plays in from the sideline. They've got all that fixed. Coach Robinson's done a fantastic job of streamlining those plays to the guys, and I feel like Alabama is right where they want to be. This is a huge game for both of these teams because if Alabama wins this, a lot of the tough games from here on out are at home. Now, I know the Iron Bowl's not at home, which I'll be here for that, right? But you're talking about playing LSU and Tennessee at home, and I feel comfortable about what Alabama's going to look like at home. So this is the only weird thing to me has been the whole deal on Milroe, whether he's okay or he's not okay. And I'm not sure what to think, but, LT seems to think he practiced all week and he's ready to go. My fingers are crossed that he's ready and he takes the field at 2:30 against the Texas A&M Aggies, and that Alabama does what they do, and that's find a way to win.
Yeah, and look, Alabama has a way of turning it around. Like you said, they've got a couple weeks under their belt, and Nick Saban is a smart guy. He's a great coach. So regardless of whether, Milroe plays, I think that they'll find a way to figure it out. They're not going to make bad mistakes like you were talking about. So I do see them winning.
Appreciate all you guys that are listening on radio across the state of Alabama. And if you've been hanging out with us on our YouTube channel, Bama Tailgate, hey, roll tide to you guys as well. I'm Mick Gillispie. Thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you next week.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Barry Buckner. It all adds up. Every time a Tuscaloosa Hyundai customer refers a friend or family member to come see us, we are truly grateful. I compare it to doubling a penny for 30 days. Believe it or not, by day 30, that one penny is over $5 million. Now that's adding up. I remind every Tuscaloosa Hyundai team member, it's only a satisfied customer who will give you a referral. That ultimate compliment earned by effort and excellence. And Tuscaloosa Hyundai has all the tools. A new vehicle lineup to meet any driving need. Premium pre-owned under 100,000 miles that we stand behind with our exclusive 1,000,000-mile warranty. Award-winning service, a company that values being named best of the best by our community. But above all, we are sincere in earning the trust that leads to a customer referral. And trust is priceless. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, located at 2703 6th Street across from the Home 2 Suites. Come down to R&R and see why we're the ultimate cigar and bourbon experience. With over 165 bourbons and 5 private barrels, our selection of bourbon is unmatched. We have the best cocktails around, and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world-class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Check out Pawn Royale at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. The summer season is almost over. Time to go to Pawn Royale and find some amazing deals. Right now, our lawn and gardening inventory must go. That includes mowers, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, you name it. Pawn Royale has deals on everything. Many items at cost or less. If you're in the market, come make a deal. That's Pawn Royale, 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Unique on the Strip. It's the best place to watch sports.
You're not even kidding. 11 TVs, NFL and MLB package, NHL, EPL, and so much more. If you want a game, they have it.
Now they're doing weekly NFL Pick'em, winners every Sunday, and grand prizes on Super Bowl Sunday.
And we haven't even mentioned the drink specials.
Of course they have daily drink specials. You can see them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Unique T-Town every day.
Unique on the Strip. The best place to watch sports in Tuscaloosa.
This is my great escape.
Where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
taking in the big pot.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun at Pearl River Resort.